Jordan here, and today's hot take is brought to you by DJ Esports. You can earn up to 800k USDT in the free-to-enter DJ Esports World's Prediction Series, so sign up with the link in the description and get 1500 DJT free. Alright guys, so what I want to talk about today was Cloud9 Blue, the recent NA LCQ champions, and their overall chances as contenders at VALORANT Champions coming up next month in Berlin. A lot of people might laugh, and I don't know, I think people are going to take it more seriously after the LCQ, but I don't know if people are going to understand really the potential that this team has. And I'll start out by talking about their core CS experience. Xeppaa, Leaf, and Vanity all played on Chaos together, and I think that from the start is two things. One, it's they have more maybe chemistry than people realize, even though they're a pretty new team. And two, as we've seen with other Valorant teams, Sentinels, TSM, etc. Well, maybe not TSM as of late as much. But yeah, a lot of these CS teams where they have roots in CS at least, they just seem to be able to adapt and go a little bit above expectations faster. And not to mention, these guys were playing at the top level in NA before the whole team fell apart, and that's a whole nother conversation. And then second of all, even though they don't have a ton of experience, if they were going into Masters, or Champions, sorry, as they were before they played LCQ, I'd be concerned that they didn't go into battle yet together, really. And what that means is you saw the way they lost to Rise Gaming as the first matchup here, and you saw Vanity talk about they were getting a little over peaky. They were playing some situations that were 4 versus 2s where they were just a little overconfident, and when you play against good teams, they punish you, and it's a 2 versus 2 really fast. So I could tell they had a lot of experience, but like sometimes when you haven't played a bit, or you haven't played as a team at a high level, you have to find those barriers and how you're going to approach them, and kind of just get these protocols internally for how you're playing these situations just dialed in. And I think that loss and then the rest of the event just helped them get that initial experience. And another unique thing about their team, and another reason I think they have like a potential for like a fast track to this solid position as an international team, is just their overall infrastructure. So Vanity being an experienced IGL versus like Rise, even if Rise won, they could have, Rise could have won that game if they would have been better on pistol rounds, right? And they could have potentially been the ones going to Berlin. But Superman, I think this is his first time ever IGLing. I think he's the IGL, and I think that's the correct fact. It's just different. It's just different what you do, whether you win or lose, and at what stage, and how you're gonna carry on with that experience. And I think the infrastructure they have. I forget, is it Autumn is the head coach? James IRL is an experienced CSGO coach who I know. Vanity is an experienced IGL, and he's someone who, well, just to talk about him for a second, he's someone who not only is he just solid as a player, but he plays into the meta. And sometimes you see some of these international teams really just, being unique and kind of like having something different can pay big dividends in Valorant. But I think the fact that Vanity is like someone as an IGL who doesn't want to just only play the comfort zone, he wants to take advantage of the meta, is key. Obviously they did a little thing, breach with Xeta on Split when they 13-0'd Rise. So like it is, if anything, it's cool to have that ability to mix it up and have a teammate like Xeta who could, switch between off Sova and do that on Split. And so I think that's another thing. Xeppaa being able to play KO and have a unique approach to Breeze. I'm actually curious if other teams are going to steal that, because really interesting dynamic it creates for the way you have to play Sova. And then yeah, overall Leaf really impressed me on Jet. Looked like he was ready to really pop off. He played mostly Sky, I think, aside from Breeze. But overall, I think the reason I have a little bit of faith in them going into Masters is I think if they get some confidence, they definitely have the skill with Xeppaa, Leaf. Oh, Mitch, not to mention, great controller, great Sentinel, just overall well-rounded there. He had quite a bit of CS experience. I don't know, he never got to tier 1 when I stepped down, but I think he was playing a lot of like with PTR and a lot of experienced tier 2 CS players in North America. So across the board, Xeta's the only one I don't really know a lot about, and he just seems like, from what I've heard, like kind of like a fun teammate who can mix it up and is that solid role on Sova. So overall, guys, I just wanted to make the point to you that I actually think Cloud9 Blue deserved their spot going to Champions. Obviously they won, but I also think that because their infrastructure with the coaches, because the experience of CS players, these guys could potentially do a lot of damage and put some results up there with the boys at Sentinel, because I do think they have similar roots from where they come from in CS, and not just that, but the experience and skill level. So yeah, that's my hot take for the day. Cloud9 could potentially be a dangerous opponent, a dangerous player at Champions. I'm looking forward to that